And also having pH 7 means that neutral solution, like pure water, have equal amounts of hydrogen ions, positively charged, and hydroxyl ions, OH, negatively charged. Okay, acidic solution. Let's summarize. Acidic solution have high concentration of hydrogen ions, and their pH will be from 0 to 6.99. So, if you see that some solution has pH 1 or 2 or 6.3, that would be an acid or acidic solution. Alkaline solutions have lower number of hydrogen ions and their pH will be above 7. So if some solution has pH 7.3 or 8.9 or 11, that would be an alkaline or basic solution. Those solutions are presented on a scale that is called pH scale. It has numbers from 0 to 14. And 7 in the middle, that would be neutral. That's your pure water. Everything right down here, lower than 7, will be acidic solutions. Milk, black coffee, grapefruit juice are slightly acidic. Lemon juice, vinegar are very acidic. Finally, battery acid or hydrochloric acid can be very acidic. What about our body fluids? Urine and saliva can be slightly acidic, and our stomach juice can be very acidic, approximately like lemon juice or vinegar. Now about basic or alkaline solutions. Our blood is slightly alkaline, 7.4, but actual numbers, and you need to memorize it, 7.35 to 7.45. That is blood pH. Well, baking soda is alkaline, ammonia solution, different bleaches. Please know pH scale and be able to give examples of human body fluids, their pH, and know pH of blood. Again, 7.35 to 7.45. It's slightly basic or slightly alkaline. Balance between acidic and basic solutions in the body is called acid-base homeostasis. pH changes, and when it changes too much, it can interfere with cell function, and it can cause damage of our tissues. Even slight change in pH, usually we talk about blood pH, can be fatal. And that's why pH should be sitting within the normal range, and it's regulated by kidneys, by lungs, and by buffers. Well, we all know that kidneys and lungs are organs. What are buffers? Buffers are chemicals, mixture of chemical compounds that resist pH changes. We have them in our body, and they convert strong, completely dissociated acids or bases into weak ones. Now we are going to organic compounds. We will study 4 types of organic compounds: carbohydrates or carbs, lipids or fats, proteins, and nucleic acids. All of them contain carbon. And exceptions, CO2 and CO are inorganic. They contain carbon, but they are inorganic. All other compounds or complex molecules containing carbon would be organic, those that make our bodies. They are unique to living systems. Most of them are so complex that we call them polymers. They are made of building blocks called monomers. And usually monomer, it's a small molecule. Here is monomer 1, that is monomer 2, and when we connect them into chains using chemical bonds, we create a complex molecule called polymer. That reaction is called dehydration synthesis. Okay, why synthesis? Because out of 2 or more monomers, we create one complex polymer. Why dehydration? Because water is released during that reaction. So dehydration synthesis, it's a building polymers out of monomers. Water is released during that process. So what is that? That is building of new cells. That's how it happens. When we need to break something in the body, like digesting food or breaking down old cells, then we have hydrolysis reaction. We have a complex polymer, and it will be broken into two or usually much more simple monomer molecules. That reaction requires water. That's why it's called hydrolysis reaction. Please know the difference between dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis. Please also know what are polymers and monomers. We are starting from carbohydrates. Sugars and starches that we consume, those are carbohydrates or carbs. All of them contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So for each class of organic compounds, you must know what elements they are made of. There are three classes of carbs: monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are the most simple ones. They are called simple sugars. You do not need to memorize that complex structure. Just remember that simple sugars look like rings. Here they are. Those are simple sugars. Examples, please know the examples. Glucose is simple sugar. We also have fructose, from fruits mostly, galactose, ribose, deoxyribose, all of those are simple sugars. Next one. If two of simple sugars are connected together using covalent bonds, right now they form disaccharides or double sugars. Example of double sugar will be sucrose. Sucrose is disaccharide, which is made of one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose. Why you need to know what sucrose is? Because that is our table sugar. So when we are talking about the level of sugar in the blood, it's not really a correct phrase. We should be talking about the level of glucose in the blood. Glucose is what is measured when we are talking about blood, glucose, blood sugar, and diabetes. And your table sugar, that is sucrose. It's made of glucose and fructose. Okay, so polysaccharides are long chains of glucose molecules, mostly glucose. They are not very soluble. Examples that I ask you to memorize would be glycogen, branching chains of glucose. When we consume too much sugar and level of glucose in our body is high, part of that glucose goes into the cells to provide energy for them. But another part will be stored in our liver as a glycogen. That storage will be used next time to regulate your blood glucose level when we are hungry. That's how fibers look, cellulose that we consume with plants. You see how interconnected are those glucose molecules, and it's very hard for our body to digest it. Most part of fibers stay indigested. Functions of carbs. It's a major source of cellular fuel. Remember that formula of cellular respiration. Glucose and oxygen together give our cells carbon dioxide, water, and the main purpose, ATP molecules, or our energy molecules. Also, carbs are used as structural molecules. For example, a special ribose sugar is in the structure of our RNA molecules.